Hey, I just want to kind of keep this quick because I don't really like voice videos a whole lot. But this just suddenly struck me. So I want to tell you about the word son and why I would like to be called it when I was young, even though I didn't interpret that genderedly. Let me explain this. So when the men in my life that I respected, when they, for example, would call my brothers son, like, hey son, why don't you do this instead of that? I always wish that they would call me that. Because there's no hey daughter. And even if there was, I wouldn't like it. Now let me explain again. I said I'm kind of awkward with this. But, right, wasn't a gendered thing that made me want to be called son. I realize what it is now. See, within the patriarchy, sons grow into men. Sons are just young men that are immature. They're, just because of their age, they're not necessarily stupid. So you step in and you say, hey son, listen to me son, I love you. I give you advice here. That's what that word meant to me. It wasn't like a gendered or sexual thing. It was like, a son is a competent young adult that you expect to become a man. But now let's compare that with what is a daughter. A daughter, on the other hand, compared to a son, what do daughters grow into within the patriarchy? Well, daughters grow into women. What do women become? Women become objects of another man within the patriarchy. When they marry, for example, like I did, a man, and this is something that I'm not sure everyone is conscious of, but I am, partly because my dad kind of spoke with me about it. They view that when you have a husband now, that you have a new life now, and in a sense, you're kind of dead to them. They can't be the man in your life anymore, which it doesn't have to be a binary. But that's why I always wanted to be called son to my dad, because sons can grow up to men, and men can come back and talk with the older men of the family unit, whatever that is, and they can be respected, and they can even do so without their wives around. But your daughters, even when you love them very much, as my dad did, your daughters, you show your love by protecting them. And once they become old enough to not need that protection anymore, and or they become married, they don't any longer exist to you. I hope that helped someone.